Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the UFRL Season 9 draft. I hope you have all been looking forward to this moment. It is 8 o'clock PM and on we go. First of all, thank you very much to the poster created brilliantly by It's JC, one of our new drivers here as well. So thank you for that. But yes, I hope everybody is looking forward to the start of this draft. We have a lot to go through first, so let's kick-start with all the events. Good evening to Bam and Deck in the chat. We are live across both Twitch and TikTok as well. With no further ado, let's head straight into the little draft here. So as you can see, the results of last season: Matthias Tier 1 champion, Flynn Tier 2 champion, Iceman 86 a Tier 3 champion, and you've got Mano, Rusted Bolt, Destroyer Drac, and at the bottom there, Mercedes, Kicksauber, and Alpine also secured their Constructors' Championships. The runners-up and the third-place drivers are also on screen for you. Good evening to Woody and to Jack as well. Now, let's kickstart with this presentation, and we will head to the next part of the screen. And as you can see, this is what is happening tonight. We kickstart with, well, then we'll actually be the team principal draft will be the first event. We also then head to the calendars. Then it is the 100% tier draft, followed by the international tier draft. Then it is the tier announcements for tiers 1, 2, and 3. And then it is the tiers 1, 2, and 3 full draft with team principals who have money to spend on their drivers. Every driver has their own individual value based on statistics from Season 8. Now, here is your team principal list. As you can see, the reigning champions, Mercedes with Willy Fernandez. He is the back-to-back reigning champion, in fact, and he'll be hoping to secure a third consecutive title. Shazam, in charge of Visa RB, Destroyer Drac, lines up for Alpine. Fourth place Haas, they are available for one of the new team principals to take over. Fifth place Coffee at Aston Martin. Sixth place Angry Badger at Ferrari. Seventh place Pesci at Williams, and then all of McLaren, Kicksauber and the Red Bull Racing Team are all available for Season 9. And now let's head into the draft. We're just going to make sure you guys can see it as well. Good evening to Scotty in the chat and Beast. I hope you're all doing well. Right, let's get the wheel spinner on for you. As you can see, the team principals are all lined up on the left, but the wheel is on the right. And as you can see, you've got Kesonator, you've got Viking Fox, you've got Ziggy Singleton, and you have also got a mystery team principal as well. So, the first team principal that we will be wheeling out is going to be automatic. It will be Kesonator. And the reason being, he was one of the team principals from last season, so we want to get his position correct, and we also want to make sure he is still the second pick for the draft. So that is the reason why Kesonator is an automatic first pick. The only question is, which team will Kesonator get? As you can see, Red Bull, McLaren, Haas, Kicksauber are all available. And now let's shuffle, and now we will spin the wheel. And Kesonator will take over as the McLaren team principal for Season 9. And there you go. So McLaren will be on the cards for Kesonator. And let's add him in as well. So Kesonator now lines up for McLaren. And that is McLaren sorted out. So now Haas, Kicksauber and the Red Bull Racing Team remain available. And with that in mind, let's head back over. We're going to save that. And we are now heading back to the team principal list. And we will now add in the 3 team principals. First of all, Ziggy Singleton returning to UFRL during last season, but has taken over as a TP for this season. Viking Fox also taking a stab at it, wanting to be a team principal as well. And the third one, the mystery team principal, can be confirmed. as UFRL Mr. Poem. Oh wait, no, we forgot an S. Sorry, it's UFRL Mrs. Poem will be our mystery team principal for season 9. I bet I got you all with that Mr. Poem shout there. You all thought Mr. Poem was a TP. Nope, it is Mrs. Poem. Kesenator, who of course will be the TP at McLaren, but then we have Mrs. Poem, Ziggy Singleton, and Viking Fox. Right now, here we go. Shuffle the wheel, and let's see. The first of these three will be, it looks like it's Viking, and it is going to be Viking Fox then. So let's head back to the teams, and as you can see, 3 on there: Red Bull, Haas and Kick Sauber. We'll do a shuffle, and let's go. So for Viking Fox, he will take over at, it is incredibly close, but it is going to be Haas. So Haas will have Viking Fox for season 9, and let's add him in there. So Viking Fox, and he takes straight over for Haas. There you go, Viking Fox for Haas. That means Kick Sauber and Red Bull, the bottom 2 for season 8, are still remaining in the draft. And let's head back over to the TP list, and let's go straight with it. Mrs. Poem and Ziggy Singleton. Obviously, we only really need to get one of these out, and it is Mrs. Poem is going to be the team principal out. So Ziggy will be the last to know, but Mrs. Poem is next. And now let's head back to the team draft, and we'll give a shuffle for this one for UFRL Mrs. Poem. She will take over, and there you go. It is going to be the Red Bull Racing team for UFRL Mrs. Poem, which means Ziggy Singleton is going to be at Kick Sauber. So Ziggy Singleton, let's get him in there, and then let's get on with UFRL Mrs. Poem. And that means as well, UFRL Mrs. Poem will get the first draft pick as well. So the first draft pick will head the way of UFRL Mrs. Poem. I will actually, should I get the sheet? I will leave the sheet actually. I don't want to make it seem like who's in what tier at the moment, because we will get over to that in a short period. But yes, Mrs. Poem will be first pick. You will also get Kesenator will be the second pick. I will just double check the draft as well. So it'll be Mrs. Poem for Red Bull first pick, Kick Sauber second pick, third pick will go to McLaren, and McLaren's TP is going to be Kesenator, and Viking Fox will get 7th pick for round 1. So that is the confirmation there. So first pick Mrs. Poem, second pick Kesenator, third pick for Ziggy, 7th pick for Viking Fox for round 1. Right. That's the team principals all delivered. And now we head to the calendars for tiers 1, 2 and 3. And here we go. Tier 1 will kickstart at the Austrian Grand Prix. It will then head to Vegas, followed by a mystery track, Monza, Saudi Arabia, Netherlands, a reverse grid race at Belgium, Brazil, a no hard tyre contest at Qatar, then it will land you to Mexico and the finale at the Japanese Grand Prix. Tier 2 opens up at Monza, followed by Bahrain, the United States of America, a no hard tyre race at China, then we've got Abu Dhabi, Hungary, Australia, Great Britain, a reverse grid race at Austria, followed by Saudi Arabia, a mystery track, and last of all, the season finale heads to Interlagos. In Tier 3, it will kickstart at Spa for the Belgian Grand Prix. Round 2 to Canada. Then it will be Netherlands, Austria, a mystery track. The United States, which will be a no hard tyre race. Azerbaijan, Monza, Japan, Las Vegas, a reverse grid at Australia before the season finale at Silverstone. If you want to save any of that, feel free, now is your time. And let's move over to your 100% tier and international tier calendars. As you can see, equal cars for the 100% tier. And we head to Silverstone for round 1. No hard tyres at Mexico, Japan, Qatar, Las Vegas, reverse grid at Brazil, a mystery track. Then you've got Portugal, Singapore, Australia, Belgium, and the season finale heads to Austria. That is for the equal cars 100% tier. Yes, equal cars for the first time in UFRL. International tier round 1 kickstarts in the mystery track. That will be next Saturday. So we are just over a week away from kickstarting the mystery track for the inter-tier. Round 2 heads to Brazil. Round 3 at Miami. Then it will be Great Britain, Belgium, Imola, a reverse grid race at Mexico, Abu Dhabi, Canada, no hard tyres at Bahrain, then it is Texas, USA, and the finale heads to Italy for the Monza Grand Prix. And those are your calendars again. If you want to save any of it, now is your chance. Right. With that in mind, we will now head to the 100% tier driver list. And this is pots 1 and 2 as well for you. The Elite Championship, your reigning champion, Rusted Bolt. The runner-up, The Bird, Pesci, Merc, Hazer, Deck, Mr. Poem, Anthony, Coffee, and Destroyer Drac, who is your development tier champion of Season 8. The Elite Reserves also Bad Boy and Black Panther. The development tier championship, which is pot 2, will be Viking Fox, Bam, Woody, EM69, Willie Fernandez, Ivy, Becky Gaming, Rennie88, Kezenator, and Optimus Prime, with the reserves being I Am Batman, Doug, and Wilco. So let's head into your lineups. Right. Let's see. Just want to see what's the chat. Qatar, no hard tyres. Yep, indeed. Here's a stat for you. Last time RB didn't bottle constructors is when Mrs. P was their TP. I know they did a couple of seasons ago, to be fair. Right then. Let's get the correct wheel up for you. I do also want to make sure we have got all of the teams still available. So there's all the teams first and foremost. And now let's make sure we've got the championship drivers on there. So we do have some stipulations or combinations that we are not going to permit, basically due to wanting to have a fair partnership in drivers. So for the 100% tier, Viking. Okay, yep, got it. So Viking Fox and Bam, they can only be teammates with Destroyer Drac, Coffee, Mr. Poem, Merc, and Rusted Bolt. Woody can be teammates with any of those 5 drivers plus Anthony, Hazer, and Deck. Everybody else can be teammates with all of those names plus Pesci and LeBird. So those are your 100% tier combinations that are being permitted. Right, with that in mind, let's kickstart this 100% tier driver list. And let's get a little shuffle one as well for you. Make sure we've got the right page on the screen, which we do. Good evening to Doug as well. And let's kickstart this wheel then. The first driver heading out. And it will be one of the new drivers, and it will be Anthony. So he is your first driver on the wheel. Right, let's switch then over to the teams, and as you can see, we're going to shuffle again. We won't shuffle on every pick, by the way, just on occasion. Anthony then, he will be heading to Ferrari. There you go, the prancing horses, and it will be Ferrari for Anthony. And let's get him listed on there for you as well. There you go. Anthony lines up for Ferrari. And again, equal car, so it's not too much of a worry in terms of having the wrong teams. Right, next one then, we're going to save that. We're going to head straight back to the elite tier drivers. And let's go with the next pick. Second driver then for the 100% tier. And it will be UFRL Coffee. So Coffee gets the next one. Let's head back to the teams then. And as you can see, still 9 teams on there. So for Coffee, he will be racing for And it will be the Red Bull Racing team for Coffee. There you go. So Coffee lands his move to the Red Bull for next season. You probably can't see that too well, so we will actually change the colours on that. Gonna change straight over to white. There you go. Coffee to the Red Bull Racing team. Right. Let's go with the next pick then. Head back to that. And a third driver. We will do a shuffle on everything after this one. But a third driver will be Pesci. So Pesci, the third driver out. Give it another save, and then we'll head back to the team list. Right. Pesci then, where will he head to for the 100% tier in equal cars? And Pesci will be going to Aston Martin. So it will be the Aston Martin team then for Pesci. Let's get him listed on there. And same again. Probably should have done that before, but oh well. Let's get it listed on there now. Pesci, there you go. Gets his opportunity for Aston Martin. Let's head then to the next team. We want to make sure it's saved, and then we go back. Here we go again. We will shuffle again, and let's go again for the fourth pick in the 100% tier. And it will be Rusted Bolt, the returning champion, of course, of Season 8. And Rusted Bolt will now find out his team for his title defense. And here we go. We'll give this another shuffle as well. So for Rusted Bolt, he will head for Season 9. And he'll be racing for the Alpine team. So Alpine is the opportunity for Rusted Bolt. Interesting. Will he be happy with that move, or will he be disappointed? Well, either way, that will be his selection. Rusted Bolt is in at Alpine. Let's head then to the next team. We'll save that list. Once again, we are down to the fifth pick then for the 100% tier. Who is it going to be? It will be UFRL Mr. Poem. Mr. Poem then gets his opportunity. Here we go. Of course, he's won numerous international tier titles. Yet to get his hands on a 100% tier, but can this be the season for him? Let's get the teams on there for UFRL Mr. Poem. And he will be heading to... It's going to be the Visa RB for UFRL Mr. Poem. That's an interesting pick. I'm unsure if he'll be happy with that one. Wasn't exactly a team I would have expected him to be racing for, but that is his team. UFRL Mr. Poem then will be heading to Visa RB for Season 9 for the 100% tier. Right then, let's head back to the driver list. We've got 5 remaining then, including the runner-up of last season and the development tier champion, where we've got the Bird and Drac featuring. And speaking of which, Destroyer Drac is the next driver out of the wheel, so the reigning development tier champion. And where will he be heading for the 100% tier? Here we go for Destroyer Drac. He will be making the move to Haas for Season 9 in the 100% tier. So Destroyer Drac is racing for Haas in the 100% tier. There you go. And that will be his move for you. Right, we will now do another shuffle as we head to the final few drivers in this list then. So you've got Merc, Bird, Hazer and Deck. And the 7th driver will be, and it will be Deck. So Deck will get the 7th pick. Who will Deck be racing for next season? Let's head to the team list and we'll do another shuffle. And for Deck in Season 9, he'll be racing for, and it will be the Kick Sauber team. So again, will Deck be happy with that one? We'll only find out, but Deck is racing for Kick Sauber for Season 9 in the 100% tier. And now let's head back to the final 3 drivers, Merc, Bird and Hazer. All Tier 1 drivers, of course, these 3. The only one who's not Tier 1, in fact, was Drac. But let's see then, it will be Merc who is a next pick. So Merck is out. Let's see, who will Merck be racing for Season 9? We will go Mercedes, McLaren, Williams. Let's find out, and it will be Merck racing for McLaren. So it will be Merck for McLaren. There you go. And let's get that listed on there. UFRL Mercs at McLaren. Right, next one then. So we will do a final save. And as you can see, two more drivers, Hazer and the Bird. We will do a shuffle. And there you go. Let's see then. Will it be Hazer? Will it be Bird? It will be Le Bird, the runner-up of last season. And he is out of the wheel now. Let's see then. Who will the Bird be racing for? Let's do a final shuffle on this one. Mercedes or Williams for the Bird. And the team for the Bird will be Williams. So that'll be his selection then for next season. The Bird races for the Williams team, which means Hazer will be racing for the Mercedes team. Can't see that at all. How's that managed to happen? Right, there you go. Hazer moving to Mercedes, and that'll be his opportunity then. Therefore, we can get all of the inputs back on for you. As you can see, we'll save that, and now we can head to the development tier driver list. Right, so there are some stipulations for this, as I did mention earlier on. So Viking Fox and Bam can only race with Destroyer Drac, Coffee, Mr. Poem, Merc, and Rusted Bolt. Therefore, I will only have those drivers on first to make it fair. I think that's the way we will have to do it, just to make sure we don't get anything incorrect come the end of this draft. So Viking Fox and Bam will be the first two drivers out of this draft. And let's see which one will get the first opportunity. Viking Fox or Bam. And it is going to be close, but it will be Bam. So he is the first driver out. And that means Viking will be next. So who will they head to? As you can see, we're back on the team list. We just need to be mindful of which teams they can race for. So they can race for Red Bull. They can also race for which teams? So it's Red Bull, and then you've got all of these sort of weaker teams. You've got Alpine available. You've got Visa RB, Kick Sauber, and Haas. Okay, so it's all the weaker teams, but then not Williams, and then you've got Red Bull as well. So I think if I can memorize that, let's disable all the inputs. Let's get Alpine. We'll get all the weaker teams on, then we can just remove whichever one it was, basically. And the Red Bull obviously gets on. And then we can memorize, or not really memorize, but I'll get it on there anyway. So there are 6 teams listed, and a team that the Bird is in, rather, is Williams. So let's remove Williams from that list. There you go. The 5 teams available then for Bam for Season 9 are those 5 teams. Right, let's get a shuffle one, and Bam for the 100% tier will be racing for, and it will be Haas. He'll be making a move back to Haas, of course. I haven't raced there for the international tier, but Bam will be racing for Haas alongside Destroyer Drac. So that'll be the selection for Bam. Destroyer Drac and Bam are at Haas. They did actually work together for Alpine last season. Right then. Just looking at the comments. Quite a few comments. Hey, thank you for the sub for Doug as well. Very much appreciated. Right, let's head back up then to the next part of the draft. We'll hide that. And we'll go back. Obviously, the next one is Viking Fox, so we don't need to draw him out. So Viking Fox will be racing for, which team would it be for Viking Fox? It will be Kick Sauber for Viking Fox. And there you go. Confirmation that Kick Sauber will see Viking Fox race for them. And that will be Deck alongside Viking Fox. Deck wasn't actually in that list. How have I got Deck listed? Never mind, I'll have to redo that because Deck should not be partnering with Viking Fox. So which team was not meant to be on? Okay, so Kick Sauber shouldn't be there. I'll hide them anyway. Apologies, deck. You will not be racing with Viking Fox. Right. So, was it that I didn't have Haas? Let's have a look. See on my PowerPoint. Haas have Drac and Bam. So, Kick Sauber shouldn't be in there. Visa RB should be in there. Alpine should be in there. And then you've got, was it McLaren? Oh, because McLaren, I see. So McLaren actually can be one of the teams. There you go. So those are the 4 teams that can be picked. With that in mind, we are going to do another shuffle to make it fair. And now Viking Fox will now learn his team for next season. And his team will be Visa RB. There you go. Visa RB will be the team then. And it will be... Oh, Mr. Poem. That's a strong combination. That is a strong combination, though. Either way, it was going to be a strong combination because Viking Fox is one of the strongest drivers in the development tier. So, Mr. Poem alongside Viking Fox in the Visa RB team. But yes, deck is not valid to have Viking Fox, unfortunately. So apologies for that one. But let's head back to the next one. We'll also want to have a save on that. And now we can go back to the rest of the development tier drivers. Obviously, Viking Fox is now out of it. So let's make sure he's out. And now we can head to Woody. So he is the next driver. He is automatic as the next driver as well. And let's add some other driver or teams, shall I say, to the wheel. So the only teams now who cannot be there are Pesci and Bird. So with that in mind, let's have a look. So Pesci is at Aston Martin, Bird is at Williams. So Aston Martin and Williams cannot be included. So Williams and Aston Martin down there, right? So those are your teams available then. Oh yeah, plus we have to remove the ones that we've just got out, which means Haas and Visa RB also cannot be included. And there you go. Those are your 6 teams then available for Woody. We'll get a save on that one. And now let's draft it in. So Woody for Season 9 will be racing for McLaren. There you go. That is the move then for Woody. And it will be Merc alongside Woody in the McLaren team for next season. That will be your combination. And there you go. Let's get that one off of that. I'll get that hidden and we'll get that saved. Right, let's head back then to the development tier drivers. And as you can see, Woody has now been picked, so we can start to get every single other driver on there. Let's remove Viking, remove Bam, remove Woody, and we are left with every other driver, which means it's now all to play for. And this is going to be a full wheel spin. Right, Baker Gaming, Ivy, Willie Fernandez, EM69, Optimus Prime, Kesonator, and Rennie88, one of our new drivers as well. Same with Optimus Prime. Let's go and shuffle the wheel. So here we go. And it will be Ivy. So Ivy will get the first pick then for the team. So let's get Ivy out of there. We'll save that and let's head back to the team selections. And as you can see, all of the teams available for you, or they should be. They are. So yes, all of them are there. Let's just double check they're all there. Aston Martin have already been picked. Oh, we need to add Bird and Pesci's teams in. So Williams and Aston Martin can now be added in. So Williams and Aston Martin, there you go. Give that a save. And here we go. This is the opportunity then for Ivy. Who will he be racing for in the 100% tier? Ivy will go to Williams. There you go. That will be his chance then. So Ivy will be racing with the Bird for Season 9. That will be your combination right there. So let's go back to the next one then. Give that a save. And we'll return back to the development tier drivers. And here is the next pick then. So the next pick will be Optimus Prime will be the next pick. Right, we'll give that a save. Right. So Optimus Prime will be in the next one. let's make sure we get that on. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we've got 10 drivers listed in there. So let's see. So we've got Simon. So he might have to replace somebody, but it's difficult to do that in a moment, unfortunately, because we've got 10 drivers already listed in there. Right. So we are going to go with the next driver. I feel like I've just done them, but I didn't quite see who it was actually. So we are going to make sure we've got Viking, Bam, Ivy, Woody. Optimus Prime, that was the one. So let's go back to it then. In the team list, so we've got Optimus Prime. Who would he be heading to? Here we go. And Optimus Prime will go to Aston Martin for Season 9. It will be a combination with Pesci as well. So one of our new drivers, Optimus Prime, and it will be with Pesci. So how can Optimus Prime do in his debut season in UFRL? We shall find out. Good evening to 50 Gent as well in the chat. Right, let's see then how things will go into the next one. Give that a save and go back to the development tier. Here we are then. So the 6th pick for the development tier drivers, and it will be again one of our newer drivers, Rennie88, and he is the next pick. And we'll save it and go back to the teams. And here we go, Rennie88 then. He will be racing for, and Rennie88 is going to Ferrari for the new season. That will be a team then for Rennie88, and it will be a combination of full new team as well of Anthony alongside Rennie. There you go. So those are your two drivers there. Let's get it saved once again, and we'll go back to the development tier list. 4 drivers: Baker Gaming, Kesonator, Woody Fernandez, and EM69. And next driver after the shuffle will be, and it will be Bakey Gaming. So he will get the next pick then. And Bakey Gaming will be heading, where would he be heading is the question. So Bakey Gaming, here we go. For Bakey Gaming, 4 teams still remain. Kicksauber, Alpine, Aston Martin, but it will be the Red Bull Racing team for Bakey Gaming, meaning he'll partner up with UFRL Coffee. So Coffee and Bakey Gaming are at Red Bull Racing. Right, let's head to the next one, and it will be Woody Fernandez, EM, and Kesonator. And it will be Woody Fernandez will be the next driver, of course. He was in a development tier last season as well. Let's see how can he fare this time around. Woody Fernandez is going to be heading to either Mercedes, Kicksauber, or Alpine. We'll do another shuffle, and let's head for Woody Fernandez for Season 9. He'll be racing for Alpine. So that'll be his opportunity, and he'll be racing alongside reigning champion Rusted Bolt. We'll actually just go Woody Fernandez. Would that even fit in? I might just go with Woody with just UFRL William. It works. There you go. UFRL William. It works okay. Right. And therefore we'll head to the next team. We've got the development tier. Might actually have to I'm going to reload the page just because it's had some issues. I'm not sure which issues exactly. Right. Let's take that one off. That seems to have fixed it a little bit better. Right, let's see then. We are going to reopen one of them. But EM and Kesonator are the final 2, so let's head straight into it. Will it be EM or will it be Kesonator? It will be Kesonator. So that will be your next pick then for the 100% tier. That obviously means EM will be the final one, but Kesonator will get the next one. We'll have to reopen the new one. And let's go with the teams. Open that, and the final 2 teams then. So Kesonator, do a final shuffle. So here we go. Kez and EM fighting for the final two teams, and it will be Kezinator racing for Kick Sauber. So that will be your selection then. Kezinator will be racing for Kick Sauber. And that can only mean one other thing then. EM69 will be racing with Hazer. And that will be your full selections then for the 100% tier. It will be Red Bull, Coffee and Baker Gaming, Mercedes Hazer alongside EM, Aston Martin Pesci with Optimus Prime, McLaren Merc with Woody, Ferrari Anthony and Rennie, Alpine Ruster Bolt and Williams the Bird alongside Ivy, Visa RB Mr. Poem alongside Viking Box, Kicksauber Deck and Kezinator, and Haas Destroyer Track alongside BAM. Now we head to the international tier, and as you can see, Pot 1, Mr. Poem, Pesci, Black Panther, Merc, Iceman, Viva, Hazer, BAM, and Rendog. Pot 2, Woody, EM, Kezinator, Optimus Prime, Doug, Wilco, Widget, and Simon. So that is pots 1 and 2. And now we can enable all of the inputs here on the wheel. Make sure that's saved. Let's open a new wheel because we need to get the new one open. Let's get international tier pot A. And now we can actually save that one as well. So there you go. Yeah, that's fine. Right, two of them straight out. And let's go with the first driver then for the international tier. There are only a couple of stipulations where Jack and Woody, I've got Jack, actually no, sorry, just Woody rather, he cannot race alongside Pesci. That's the only stipulation for the international tier. Right, Hazer though, he is the first driver out. So let's save that and go back to the team list then. We want to make sure you're all seeing it correctly as well. So as you can see, there you go. Right, Hazer then. Who would he be racing for? Do another shuffle with all the teams back on. Hazer will be racing for, is it Alpine or is it Red Bull? It's going to be close. It's Alpine. It's very close. But it will be Hazer racing for Alpine. There you go. Right, then let's continue again. I've done the same thing. That's strange. Go with that. And let's go back again. Right, pot A. And let's do another wheel. Here we go. Who's going to get the next pick, Glenn? It will be Black Panther back in UFRL for Season 9. And Black Panther will now be about to find out his new team as well for this tier. So here we go. For Black Panther, he will be racing for, it will be Williams for Black Panther. I do believe he's actually racing the Williams on a previous occasion as well. So Black Panther then will be racing for the Williams team. Black Panther, let's get him straight in there. So Hazer and Black Panther already done. Let's get in with the next driver. And as you can see, we've still got 8 remaining on the list. And the next driver will be Rendog, one of our new drivers as well for Season 9. And Rendog is straight in there. Right, let's switch and go to the teams. And for Rendog, we will do a shuffle after this one. But for Rendog, he will be racing for, it's going to be close again, but it is going to be Mercedes for Rendog. And again, as you can tell, the colours are lovely, aren't they? Just lovely. Right, Rendog, there you go. Gets the move to the Mercedes team. And now with that in mind, let's head straight back into things. Hopefully. If it's not messed up too much, there you go. That's better. Right. So we've got the final few drivers to go for the international tier. After this, it should be a fairly quicker process. We will do the tier announcement as well. And then we can pretty much head straight into the draft. Right, Pesci then. And this is where the stipulation begins because he cannot partner with Woody. So Pesci is out. And let's go to the teams list then. This is for Pesci. And he will be racing for Again, it's tight, but it will be the Kick Sauber for Pesci. And at least he now knows his team. Kick Sauber and Pesci. There you go. Those are your current combinations. So you got Vendog, Hazer, Panther, and Pesci all out. And let's head back to the international tier and shuffle again. We're down to, what, 5 drivers? So let's see. The next pick will be UFRL Merckx. So at least now Merckx will find out his opportunity for the new season. I know we didn't actually shuffle this one, so let's shuffle it now. And for UFRL Merckx, for Season 9, he will be racing for... It will be a return for him to the Prancing Horses at Ferrari for UFRL Merckx. And that will be his team then for that. So UFRL Merckx, and he is racing in Ferrari. Right, so let's see then who will be racing next up. Oh, with that in mind, so wait, Deck. I'm ready to top myself, man. Still need... Oh wait, so Deck, did you want a seat then? Let me know quickly, Deck, if you want a seat in the international tier. And then I will basically replace you with Pesci then. If you can let me know quickly, there you go. Right, perfect. There you go, easy. That's quick. So, tier 1 for tier 1, easy swap. And now I will permit the partnership of Deck with Woody as well. So if that is going to be the combination, then that will be the combination. Right. Started spinning the team, but I still need to figure out the driver, right? So this is for no reason at all. Well, actually, okay. If I've picked McLaren, I'm going to keep that in though. Yep, we'll keep that. Right, let's move back over then. So we are... Oh, so yeah, Pesci. Ah, there you go. How perfect is that? Declan, you will be racing for McLaren for next season. Well, that's pretty much perfect for you. I say that, obviously for the draft. Deck fits in for McLaren then for next season. Right. Let's get a teams list and we'll remove McLaren because obviously it was just drafted out. Save it again, give it a shuffle. But now we want to head back to the drivers list. Right, shuffle again, and let's go again. So Deck will be racing for McLaren. And now let's head to the 7th drive, and it will be Iceman Ice Cold. And that will be his opportunity. Then let's see where he heads to. Iceman Ice Cold. Get the team selections up. And 4 teams remaining for Iceman Ice Cold. And he will be racing for the Red Bull Racing Team. So Iceman Ice Cold, there you go. I know obviously you won't be able to read that. That's okay because guess what? We can just quickly do that. There you go. Iceman Ice Cold is at Red Bull. Right, next one then. So we go to the pot A again. Got 3 drivers to go. Mr. Poem, a multiple time champion. You got myself and you got Bam. And it will be Mr. Poem. Runner-up last season. And now didn't actually get any race wins, yet he was still able to push really close to the winner, which was Mano, who won 7 Grand Prix last season. 7 wins for Mano, 0 for Mr. Poem, and Mr. Poem came so close to the title. Right, so for UFRL Mr. Poem, will he get Haas? Will he get the Visa RB? He will get the Visa RB, and that will be again the Visa RB. So he's getting the Visa RB on the Friday and a Saturday. He best get used to that Visa RB car for the season then. Wow. UFRL Mr. Poem gets the Visa RB the same as what he got in the 100% tier. And now we're down to the final 2 drivers. Myself and Bam do a shuffle. And for season 9, it will be close again, but it will be Bam. So Bam will get the next car, and then it will be myself. Right, let's head back to the team selections, and as you can see, a final shuffle. Haas or Aston Martin? And a team for Bam. Is he going back to Haas? Will he make a move to Aston? it will be a move to Aston Martin for Bam. So Aston Martin gets Bam, and myself will be racing for Haas for the international tier. There you go. So that is your pot one drivers completed. Deck, of course, making that late move in as well. So appreciated on that one. Let's see. I had this with Alpha Romeo. Yeah, I know it was crazy. Back to backs. Woody, Doug, and Pam says, thank God, you did not want to go back to the house and said, I'm taking over your car, Bam. I know. Right, let's head back into things then, and we can get the, well, let's enable all of these now, because obviously it wouldn't make sense not to. Create a new wheel. Obviously, we're not going to create one because we are just going to open one, and it will be the international tier pot B. As you can see, PRV Widget, Doug, Optimus Prime, Wilco, EM, Kesonator, Woody, and Simon. And those are your drivers now. So let's go straight in with the shuffle for the first pick then. Obviously, a couple of teams will be left without a driver, so don't worry too much on that. But the first driver will be PRV Widget is your first driver, right? Give that a save and head back to the team list, right? Shuffle this, and for PRV Widget, his team for Season 9 in the International tier will be, it will be Mercedes. So PRV Widget then will race alongside Rendog for next season. There you go. So Rendog with PRV Widget is your first combination secured. Right, let's go back to pot B, and we have got the next driver, the second driver from pot B for the international tier, and it will be EM. So won't be partnering with Hazer, or will he? No, he won't, because Hazer's not racing in this tier, but at least he will be on the night before. But EM is your next driver. But let's go back to the team list, and as you can see, still multiple teams remaining. And let's go for EM69. He will be racing at, is it Alpine or is it McLaren? It will be Alpine. So that'll be for EM69. Let's get his name on there for the Alpine team. No way. No way has he managed that. How on earth? This is rigged. This is so rigged. EM is racing with Hazer in both the 100% tier and international tier. By the way, those two are friends, legitimately friends, and yet they are racing together through a wheel of 20 drivers in 100% and then like 16 or 17 drivers in the international tier, yet they have partnered each other in both tiers. We've been shuffling as well through this way. That is a miracle how that has happened. I mean, that will never happen again, surely. How on earth has that managed to happen? It's happened though. Right, incredible. But let's go to the next driver. I mean, Hazer and EM. I'd love to know what they're thinking right now. Obviously, they might be saying in the chat, and I will have a look in a minute after I've done this draft. Right, Kesonator will be the next driver then. I think he's partnering, is it Pesci, I want to say, or Bird in the 100%. So let's see what Kesonator gets then for his team for the international tier. Right, for Kesonator, he'll be racing for, is it Red Bull? It looks like it is, and yes, it will be. So Red Bull will be the place for Kesonator, and he'll be racing with Iceman Ice Cold, which will be another duo. They were partnering each other last season as well. So Iceman Ice Cold and Kesonator can't get enough of each other, and they're back again. Right, let's go back. We've only got 5 drivers remaining. We've got Woody, Simon, Optimus Prime, a couple of other drivers who I couldn't quite catch there. Wilco and Doug, I believe, are the other 2, right? And it will be Wilco for the next pick. We'll get him. Oh no, it will be Woody rather. Sorry about that. It's Woody. Woody's the next pick. Well, I don't know why I said Wilco. My apologies there. Right, let's go straight back into it then. For Woody, not Wilco. Yes, for Woody, he will be racing for, it will be for Aston Martin for Woody. And he'll be racing with Bam. So there you go. Bam and Woody partner for Aston Martin. Right, so those are your combinations right there. Let's switch again to pot B. Just make sure we switch to the right one. And now, should we do another shuffle? I think we'll do another shuffle. Right, 4 drivers to go then for pot B. Optimus Prime, Doug, Wilco, and Simon. And it will be Douglas. Who can he be the teammate of for the season ahead? Right, let's switch again to the teams. Still multiple teams left, but for Doug, he will be racing for, it will be McLaren for next season for Doug. So let's get that list on, and it will be Deck with Doug. There you go. Is that a good driver list? Is Deck happy with that? Is Doug happy with that? Obviously, remains to be seen, but Deck and Doug are together for McLaren. Right, let's head back into pot B. 3 drivers, Simon, Optimus Prime, and Wilco. The next driver will be Simon. So it will be Simon, a new driver for season 9. And he will get straight in there. And Simon's team then for the season will be, it will be Visa RB for Simon. And there you go. Make sure it gets stopped. And as you can see, there you go. Visa RB is in for Simon. And he will be partnering then with UFRL Mr. Poem. So Mr. Poem and Simon in the international tier for Visa RB. Right. Let's get this saved and we'll go to the next one. Final 2 drivers. We've got Wilco and we've got Optimus Prime, who will be the next driver out of the wheel. It is going to be Optimus Prime. So he will be heading out. Let's see, where will we head to? Can he transform into something brilliant this season? And Optimus Prime then, let's get his team selected through the wheel. And Optimus Prime will be heading to Haas for season 9. And he will be my teammate for season 9 as well. So there you go. So he has got a couple of decent teammates, actually. I think he got a decent teammate in the 100% tier too. So let's see what Optimus Prime can do. There you go. Myself with Optimus Prime for Haas. And then we've got one more team. I just want to check which driver it is. It is Wilco. So Wilco, the final driver. And this will be it. So we will do a shuffle. And Wilco will be racing in the international tier for... Is it going to be Williams? It looks like it will be. And indeed it is. It will be Williams for Wilco for next season. Okay, and there you go. So your full lineup then for the international tier. Red Bull with Iceman Ice Cold alongside Kesonator. Mercedes have Rendog with PRV Widget. Aston Martin, Bam alongside Woody. McLaren have Deck with Doug. Ferrari have Merc on his own at the moment. Alpine have Hazer alongside EM. Williams have Black Panther alongside Wilco. Visa RB, Mr. Poem alongside Simon. Kick Sauber have Pesci on his zonal low. Oh yeah, I'm going to get that. Oh wait, oh yeah, okay. So let's get that removed. So Pesci was meant to go there. Ah, I see. So actually, Deck should be there. No, I'm just going to leave it. Yeah, I'm going to have to leave it then. And then myself alongside Optimus Prime for Haas. Don't know, should Deck technically go into the Kick Sauber based on that? I'll leave it. I'll leave it. Kick Sauber can have a 3 team for next season. I think it's the only fair way. Because I did redo it all. So Deck therefore gets McLaren. Redoing it on the fly. Hey, hey. Right. Let's now... We're not going to redo it as well. That'll be a bit too long, I think. Because it is now 5 to 9. Right, with that in mind... What have we got next? So it says leave him. Yeah, that's fine. Right then. Yeah, you should have defended your title. No double stack. That's to Matthias. Good evening, Matthias. Good evening, Mr. Potwash. I hope I'm not missing other drivers who I've listed there. But yeah, obviously a lot of comments flying on through. Yeah, Hazer and EM being teammates. That's incredible, isn't it? Not just teammates, but teammates in 2 tiers. How on earth has that happened? Right. So let's go with the next one. And we're going to go into a full screen for this one. Because this is the start of your tiers for next season. We will kickstart with your full Tier 3 driver lineup. And here we go. Are we all ready for your Tier 3 driver lineup? Because we are going to be getting going here in 3, 2, and 1. And those are your Season 9 Tier 3 drivers. Hybrid, 50 Gent, Cinders, PRV Widget, Ivy, Shazam, Bakey Gaming, Cowley, Popskong, Kesonator, UFRL Doug, Mr. Piggy, Ziggy Singleton, Optimus Prime, James Killer, James Eon, and Wilco will be racing in Tier 3 for next season. As you can see, a host of statistics and some of the most valued drivers, according to Price, Hybrid, 50 Gent, and Cinders are all on that list. Hybrid having been a Tier 2 driver last season, of course. We've still got a couple of other drivers, like Mr. Piggy, for example, has made his return back to UFRL. Optimus Prime, of course, a new driver, racing across 3 different tiers this season. So there you go. Now we will head then, let's see if there's any comments made on that one. Team Matthias says, give me an F2 car. Great to be partners with you, Viva says Mark. Okay, so that must be Optimus Prime. Yes, indeed. Indeed it is. 15 wins, 15 rounds, and the most wins is 2. Yes, but that's only based on the current drivers for the season ahead. So, obviously, before, Jar Jar Bingham and Warren have both got 4 wins, as you can see in the one above. But for the list below that, it's only the drivers that are on the left side of your screen. So Cinders with 2 wins is the most of any of those drivers that are listed on your left. We'll do the same as well, as we will now head to your full Tier 2 driver lineup. Here we go. 3, 2, and 1. And here we go. Parkour, ARC Mickey, Gandalf, Rotti, Viking Fox, Boy Knockout, Warrener, Salty Stevens, Silky Stevens, Dutch Beast, Destroyer Drac, Epic Frenchie, Mr. Potwash, UFRL Willie Fernandez, Iceman 86, DD Friend, EM69, Woody, Angry Badger, I Am Batman, and Jack Amu are your Tier 2 drivers. And again, statistics there for you. Flynn, Gandalf, Mickey, your top 3. Mickey and Parkour currently getting the most wins of all the drivers listed on your left side there. And the top 3 value drivers based on their price. Parkour, ARC Mickey, and then Gandalf and Rotti are the same price as well. Rotti, one of the new drivers, entering in. Gandalf back-to-back runner-up in Tier 2. Can he finally get his hands on the title? ARC Mickey, former Tier 1 and Tier 2 champion, in fact, from Season 3 and Season 4. Parkour also has been a title contender in the past. But the likes of Viking Fox, Boy Knockout, they could be potential title contenders. With Destroyer Jack also, he'll be hopeful for a title charge. But there you go. Those are your Tier 2 drivers for the season ahead. Let's see if there's any comments. Happy to have the bird for 100%. Hazer said, oh, my bad. Oh, yeah, that's all right. No worries, Hazer, that's all good. Right then. And now your Season 9 Tier 1 driver lineup. Pesci, The Bird, Rusted Bolt, Merc, Bad Boy, Hazer, Rendog, Deck, It's JC, Young Lights, Mr. Poem, Coffee, Basil, myself, Viva of course, Ghost, Iceman Ice Cold, Bam, and the return of UFRL Steel Lane. So a couple of new drivers in there for you. Rendog and It's JC are completely new to the league for Season 9, whereas Steel Lane did race here a few seasons back, and it's been here all together for about 6 seasons now for Steel Lane. So here he is again, back in Tier 1. Last season's champion, Matthias, the top 3 completed by Mano and Pesci after his victory at Silverstone. And then the most wins of all the drivers left are Pesci with 2 victories. Compare that to Matthias, who won 7 times last season with 10 podiums. Strongest qualifier, the Bird. Best average results there for Pesci. And the top 3 highest value drivers, the Bird, Pesci, and then all level, Rusted Bolt, Merc, and Bad Boy. Best of luck picking between those 3. And now we will head to your UFRL Season 9 draft list. And as you can see, Tiers 1, 2 and 3 only, not the 100% tier or international tier, because we of course have just wheeled those tiers out. Each team principal has a set amount of money to spend on drivers. They can sign drivers in whatever order they like. It does not have to be a tier 1 driver first. So if they want it to go over tier 3, they can do that. Or if they want it to go over tier 2, they can also do that. All values are based on the driver's statistical data from Season 8, unless they're a new driver. That will be based around the likes of time trials. The team principals have a set order of when they can make their signings. So Red Bull will receive the first pick, Kesenator will earn a second pick, and this will lead all the way down to the back-to-back reigning Constructors Champions Mercedes, who will continue to be under the tenure of Willie Fernandez. Right, we're going to make sure it's all set up correctly as well before we show you the entire screen. So I want to make sure everybody's got the right draft number. So I know the team principal for Red Bull, I know that was UFRL Mr. So even I did it. UFRL Mrs. Poem, there you go. I get mixed up between them. Just on a draft, that's incredible, isn't it? So there you go, that's the first pick. Kesenator gets his move to McLaren. That's the move that he really wanted, it seems. And therefore he gets that pick into there. And then we're going to copy that into there. Obviously, I'm doing things behind screen, so you can't quite see what I'm doing right now, but I will show you in a second how the screen will look. So just bear with me in just a moment. Who got the kicks out? We're just going to double check the TP list up above. So Kick Sauber went to Ziggy Singleton, so that'll be his team. Get him listed on there. And then Haas went to Viking Fox. There you go. So that is all of the teams selected. And we want to make sure that they have all got their valuations on as well. So Viking Fox will get his valuation on now. And how much was Viking Fox worth? You may wonder. He was worth 71 million. So let's pop that into his team. 71 million for Viking Fox. And then you've got Kesenator for McLaren. And he was worth... if I get tier 3 drivers, Kesenator was worth 38 million. So let's pop him straight in there for tier 3. McLaren, and it will be 38. And the next team was, or the next team, well, yeah, the next team principal rather. It is going to be Ziggy Singleton, another tier 3. That's what we like to sort of see, really. And Ziggy Singleton was 39 million. That was for Kick Sauber. So let's make sure he's popped into there correctly. So Mrs. Poem is the only one who is not racing out of all the team principals as well. So therefore, probably going to be more significant for Mrs. Poem here to pick the right sort of drivers. Let's also make sure all the names are correct. And then I will be able to show you the list on what we have got. Right. I think, is that all correct? We want to make sure all of the drivers are listed as well. So Kesenator, Ziggy Singleton, and UFRL Mrs. Poem. And let's get them all listed as well. As you know, UFRL Mrs. Poem does not need to be listed there because she's not racing. Right. The team principal is listed in black as well, so they all know, and Viking Fox as well. And now I can pretty much show you from here where we are at. So let's go. Here we are then. This is your full draft information. Mercedes, as you can see on the left side of your screen, right at the top, that is the amount of money each team has remaining after they sign a driver. You've got all the driver values listed as well. On your right side, where you've got, say, Mercedes, if they spent 37 million, due to that being the price of Willie Fernandez. So that's just an example. All the drivers are going to be listed at the bottom of your screen. All of those listed in black are team principals as well. So Willie Fernandez, Shazam, Destroyer Jack, Viking Fox, Coffee, Badger, Pesci, Kesenator, and Ziggy Singleton are all your team principals. Right then, team principals, I'm sure you've been discussing already your first moves, and now we will allow them to be able to just discuss what they're going to do. But the first pick does go to UFRL Mrs. Poem. So yes, that is correct. UFRL Mrs. Poem is going to get the first draft pick for this season. And the question will be, who will she go with? Straight off the bat. I want to make sure I've got my Excel sheet up on my phone as well, so it'll be easier to get all the prices listed. And now let's see then. When will they get the picks? Looking in the chat, well, oh yeah, all the chat saying enjoy tier 2, says Deck. Right, the first pick is in then, and here we are for UFRL Mrs. Poem. And the first pick in the entire draft for season 9 will be, oh, we're looking at tier 1, but it's not tier 1. Yeah, you're thinking it will be, but it's tier 2. It's ARC Mickey is your first pick of season 9. ARC Mickey, that's a massive pick there by Mrs. Poem. And ARC Mickey, the cost of him, 81 million is how much is being spent there. So as you can see, it gets automatically changed. So Red Bull have 236 million left to spend on drivers. Right, so that was ARC Mickey making a move to Red Bull. The second pick does go to Kesenator and McLaren. So we are just going to wait on that opportunity. And I do believe that chance is straight in there for Kesenator. Oh, maybe incorrect, actually. Yeah, I am incorrect, right? Just moving out. So we will have to wait whilst the team principals do discuss their moves. I am pretty much the announcements. Right, let's look at the chats, see what's being said. Yeah, the UFRL driver draft is officially open. Indeed it is, and ARC Mickey getting that first driver out as well. So there you go. Well done to ARC Mickey. I hope you're proud of yourself for being the first driver selected in this draft. Right then, the second pick is in by Kesenator. And the second pick, you might have thought is heading to tier 1. It's not heading to tier 1 again. We are heading back to tier 2. And for tier 2, we are going to go with DD Friend. He is your first driver, well, second driver out, but your first driver selected by Kesenator is DD Friend. And for his valuation, DD Friend is 34 million, so fairly cheap actually. There you go. That leaves Kesenator with 249 million to play with. And now we await the next pick for the draft. So yeah, in terms of the budgets remaining, obviously everyone's going to have plenty of money still to go. And the next pick will go to Ziggy with kicks out. But this is an interesting one because Ziggy Singleton has never been a team principal before. So his first opportunity will be tonight. And let's find out who will Ziggy select as his first driver. Duck. Well, yeah, it's an interesting. See, it's funny because I am obviously having raced with you guys at Qatar, and all of a sudden I'm getting your seat. Right, this pick is in for Ziggy Singleton, and Ziggy Singleton will be making his move, and he has signed from Tier 1. He has signed Deck from Tier 1. So straight off the bat, the Tier 1 has now finally been selected. And it is 65 million for Kick Sauber. And that leaves them with 215 million remaining. But Deck has been signed by Kick Sauber. Right then, so we await the next driver pick, but obviously the first picks will be fairly slow simply because there's so many drivers available to the team principals, but after that it will gradually increase in speed as we have fewer drivers remaining. But obviously, the start will be reasonably slow as everybody tries to figure out what they're doing and also what are their opponents doing. Don't forget, these TPs are all competing against each other for the Constructors' Championship. Somebody is going to have to try and take it away from Willie Fernandez, who is the back-to-back reigning Constructors' Champion, as we await that next selection. Who is the next selection, you may ask? And I'm asking as well, because the next selection is Williams. So Pesci, surely it's only going one way with Pesci. And let's see, the pick is now in for Pesci. Yeah. And the next pick for Pesci is a shot cover. Nobody anticipated this. He is going back with his old trusted mate, and he heads with Bad Boy as his next pick. I mean, I don't think that's a shock at all, but Bad Boy is in, and he is, I think, is he one of the most expensive he is? He's 68 million. That's a lot of money being spent there. And it leaves Williams with 160 million to spend on up to 4 drivers. So they're averaging at 40 million per driver now. But that is your signing for Pesci. Next pick then, and it will go 5th pick to Ferrari with Angry Badger. So we'll wait on that one. But who will Badger select for his next pick? That'll be another important question. I want to make sure I can actually see when they're joining. Right, there you go. Let's see then who the next pick will be. Woody says, wow, really? Is that because of Bad Boy being picked by Williams? Yeah, shock horror that one, isn't it? Nobody saw that coming. It's only happened for 3 consecutive seasons now. But yeah, incredible. But I still think the most incredible thing tonight is not that. It has to be Hazel and EM being selected for the same team. Not the same team, but they're partnering each other and they're friends in both the inter-tier and 100% tier. That, for me, is going to be the most insane thing of tonight. Can't believe no one had the balls to do it and sign Bad Boy as their first driver. Yeah, I know. Someone should have done. Imagine that if someone had signed Bad Boy as their first driver before Pesci, then all of a sudden Pesci has to do something completely different. That would have been interesting. But yeah, the question is now, who will Angry Badger pick as his first driver then? Obviously, he's got himself already in Tier 2, so he's probably going to stay away from Tier 2, meaning Tier 1, Tier 3 is still open. Nobody has signed a Tier 3 driver as yet. But is that going to change now? And the question that I did just ask can now be confirmed because Ferrari have selected Cinders as their next driver. And therefore, Cinders is going to cost 84 million. Expensive, but it could be well worth it if he competes for that championship. And it leaves Ferrari with 218 million left to spend. But Cinders has been signed by Ferrari for next season. So he does make his return as well. That's good for Angry Badger. Having another driver who he does trust, of course. So he obviously does fully trust Cinders because he's re-signing him for next season. Right then, the next pick then. And the next pick will be for Aston Martin. It will be for Coffee. So who will he select for his team then? We'll wait and find out. Obviously, if anybody does have any comments, feel free. I don't know if the sound alerts are working. They might be. Tuck filth, yes. Anyways, the next pick is in then for Coffee. And Coffee has decided to select UFRL. No, it's not. It's not. I'm just joking. It will be Dutch Beast X. So Dutch Beast does make his move to work with Coffee then. And Dutch Beast X is going to be worth 59 million. So Dutch Beast X for Aston Martin. 59 million to spend. And that leaves Aston Martin with 228 million left to spend for their next driver. So right then, that means Haas will get the next pick and it will be for Viking Fox. So Viking Fox will be the next driver. The 7th pick for Viking Fox. Right. Okay, that's fine. Sound alerts don't work. It's because I'm using obviously a different screen, and normally I don't use it, so that's the only reason why. So don't worry, don't spend all your money on sound alerts. And has DD been promoted to Tier 2? Yes, he has. He has been promoted to Tier 2 for this season, and that is why he is in with Kesonator at McLaren. Yes, he is in Tier 2. But again, the full driver lists were available earlier on in the stream. That's when everyone found out. But obviously, as the stream goes on, everybody will find out anyway what team they are in. Right, next pick is in, and this is for Viking Fox. And Viking Fox has selected Woody as his teammate in Tier 2. So Woody with Viking Fox, and Woody worth 27 million. And that'll be the combination of a Tier 2 for Haas. It'll be Viking Fox alongside Woody. The next pick then, due to a penalty received last season, Alpine will not receive the next pick. That pick therefore heads to Visa RB and Shazam. Shazam, of course, is in Tier 3, so maybe he will try and stay away from Tier 3 and go with either a Tier 1 or Tier 2. We'll wait on that one though. And then the pick is in for Shazam. And Visa RB is heading away and selecting a Tier 1 driver, and it will be arguably the favourite, Le Bird, has been selected by Shazam and Visa RB for next season, valued at 96 million. So the top two most expensive drivers in the entire draft have now been drafted. Of course, Pesci was automatic, but the Bird has also gone. That means Visa RB 174 million available now, the second lowest after Williams. But yes, quite a big pick. Plans patched, Woody says Ziggy. Back to the Haas and cheap. Yeah, you are. Indeed, you are, yes. But you and Viking, that could be a strong partnership there. Right, next pick then, I do believe is in, and that will mean the pick will head to Woody Fernandez. And it will be a double pick as well. Right, so the first pick from that double pick is going to be, and it will be a return to Mercedes for UFRL, Mr. Poem. So Mr. Poem alongside Willie Fernandez, and he'll be worth 56 million. So that leaves Mercedes with 242 million left to spend. And their second pick is now in. And the second pick will complete the Tier 1 lineup. And it will be UFRL Mercs. So a strong lineup then for Mercedes. And that means Mercs in at 68 million. And that leaves Mercedes with 174 million left to spend. So then that heads down to Visa RB. Yeah. Okay, yeah. I'm happy to do that. Give Pesci the next pick. Yeah. Okay. So we've had to do a change of plans. Don't worry, the stream is not ending or anything like that. Nothing like that. It's just a team or a driver is not available to race next season. And that driver is going to be Bad Boy, which does make things interesting for Williams. And I will therefore, of course, remove Bad Boy's value out as well. So Pesci will therefore now get the next driver. We weren't informed of this until now. But Bad Boy has just informed people. So therefore, Pesci will get the next driver. Of course, it is completely up to him. He's already got himself, so he's already got a strong driver. But who would he pick as his driver number 2? And that remains to be seen. And then after that, it will go to Visa RB. But yes, and now the pick is in. And Pesci has selected another Tier 1 driver, and it will be Pesci alongside Hazer in their tier 1 lineup. I mean, Hazer alongside Pesci. Wow. And Hazer valued at 65 million, so very similar to what Bad Boy was worth, only a few million less. And that leaves Williams with 163 million to spend on the final 4 drivers. So that is Williams done. Right, next one, then it will go back to Visa RB, and it will be the pick for Shazam. We'll just wait until that is all ready. See the comments. Boom, and there is a twist in the story, yeah. We were saying it earlier on that it would have been interesting if Bad Boy and Pesci weren't even racing together because it would have been a third consecutive season. Well, guess what? It happened. They will not be racing together because Bad Boy cannot be racing. So there you go. Figure back. I think we kept the intertier spin. I could have been in the kick 3 times. Would have just retired. Ouch. Right, let's wait and see then for the next pick. But yeah, who will Viking Fox select then? Will he go tier 1, tier 2, or tier 3? I mean, I feel like the not Viking Fox, Shazam. That's the name I was trying to think. Crikey, he's got to go tier 2, surely. He's already got tier 1. He's got himself for tier 3. Is he going to go tier 2 next? The pick is in. And the next pick in then for the team over Visa RB, and it is not tier 2, it's tier 1, and it will be a return for Rusted Bolt. Ironically enough, the 200% tier title contenders of last season, the Bird and Rusted Bolt, will now be teammates for next season. Incredible how things work out. But Rusted Bolt, and that leaves Shazam with just 106 million to spend. He still needs 3 drivers out of that, or a maximum of 3 drivers. He's going to be struggling a little bit now because he's gone 3 fairly expensive drivers, obviously the Bird being the most expensive. So he now needs a few bargain signings. Right, next pick then, and it will be the first pick of the draft for Destroyer Drac and for Alpine. So after his penalty, he did not get a first pick effectively. But now Destroyer Drac will get his opportunity. And who would he pick? What happened to Bad Boy? So we were only just informed he was not able to race. Therefore, he gets out of the draft, and therefore Pesci had the immediate next pick, and he selected Hazer. So Pesci and Hazer, though, strong combination. He got disqualified for being too fast. He got a job. Fair enough. Fair play. Fair play. Cringe guy. But yes, it's interesting though, Pesci, that you are racing with somebody else now. Not you and Bad Boy. That'll be interesting. It could work. It could work in favour of you. Who knows? If you and Hazer could work well together, which I think you probably can. I know you two have fought for the title on a couple of occasions, but now can you work together? That will be the question. Yeah, Iceman. I know. Right. Is the pick in yet? No, not quite. Yeah, of course, of course. But looking at the teams at the moment, obviously only a few picks are in, but which team looks the strongest? I mean, Mercedes look very strong. Obviously Williams now with Pesci and Hader. Who else do I think looks good? Red Bull, we're still waiting on their second pick, of course. ARC Mickey was a strong first pick. But yeah, at the moment, I mean, Kesonator was probably surprised me with picking DD Friend. But yeah, a lot still to happen in this draft. Still waiting on Destroyer Drac, however, to make that first selection. To be fair, he's in the latter stages of his race as well. He is actually having a race tonight, Destroyer Drac, which is probably happy that his race will be nearly over right now because they are doing short qualifying from 8 o'clock. Therefore, yeah, his race will be nearly over, if not over already. What number of pick is it? Well, now it is pick 12. So pick number 12 for Alpine and Destroyer Drac. Can we see driver's value somewhere? No. So it's just going to be on this screen. The reason being you will see how much drivers are worth anyway. Obviously, if you were to have a look. So for example, Deck at Kick Sauber is the first tier 1 driver. Therefore, that same valuation will be in the Kick Sauber tier 1A slot. And that will be the valuation for Deck. And that's for every single driver pretty much. I might actually, hang on, whilst I've got a bit of time, whilst Drac is actually changing that. What I'm going to do for you guys, just to make it a bit easier so you guys know what's going on, I'm going to name these all. So the pick is in then for Destroyer Drac. I'm just going to complete all of this so you guys know it's a little bit easier. Right, there you go. So pick is in then for Destroyer Drac, and he is selecting a tier 2, and it will be Gandalf. So Gandalf returns back to work with Destroyer Drac. I say returns. Has he actually worked with Drac before? Obviously, he was at Mercedes for 2 consecutive seasons. 77 million is the amount that they will be spending on Gandalf. But there you go. So Alpine, 196 million left to spend, and they've got Destroyer Drac with Gandalf now. But hopefully that makes it a little bit easier for you guys, so you guys can see how much each driver was valued at. Nope, you're very welcome, mate. You're very welcome. But yes, we'll just wait on the next one. So next team will be pick number 13, and that will be back to Haas and back to Viking Fox. Of course, they've still got the combination of Viking Fox and Woody. So who will join them? Would it be a tier 1 or would it be a tier 3 driver? So that is what we are going to find out. Again, I'm sure the process will get quicker as the night sort of goes on. The reason being, still a lot of drivers available for selection at the moment, so everybody's still looking at all the prizes, all the data, and obviously when drivers get picked, the next pick is going to be very difficult because their pick they wanted may have already gone, so they might have had to adjust their plans. And let's be real, they probably would have had to adjust their plans. That is going to be highly likely, I believe. I do wonder what's happening in the TP chat at the moment. I can imagine all the TPs are a little bit frantic at the moment, I do imagine. They are taking a fair bit of time, though, I've got to say, on these picks. Right, the next one is in, though, and we are heading to Haas. And Haas have opted to select a tier 3 driver, a potential title contender as well, and Haas are heading with 50 Gent. So Viking Fox, Woody and 50 Gent will be there, and 50 Gent worth 86 million for the Haas team. So that is how much 50 Gent was worth. 86 million leaves Haas with 145 million to spend. Right, next pick then. Pick number 14 goes back to Coffee. He has already got himself alongside Dutch Beast. And who will Coffee head with for his next slot? Will he go to tier 3, which of course he has not yet got, or will he stick with either 1 or 2? And there you go, the pick is in then for Coffee. And he is having a return of Iceman 86. So Iceman 86 completes their tier 2 driver lineup. I think Iceman 86 quite cheap this season, standing at 36 million. And that will be how much they are spending there. So these Aston Martin with a healthy 192 million to spend on up to 4 drivers. Right, next pick then. It'll be pick number 15, and it will be Ferrari with Angry Badger. 218 million to spend at the moment, so still plenty available for Badger to spend. And now Angry Badger has selected his next driver, and it will be a tier 3 driver for Angry Badger. And it will be a partnership with Cinders for PRV Widget. So Widget with Cinders is your lineup for the team of Ferrari. And now for the first time we actually move across from this. And now for Ferrari, let's have a look. How much was he worth? PRV Widget, 74 million. So he'll be hoping that that is a strong combination there. Cinders and Widget, and it leaves Ferrari with 144 million, so they may have to be a bit more careful with their spending. But still, not the lowest. The lowest currently is for Visa RB. Next team then will be Williams. And we head back to Pesci, who currently has Hazer on his book. So we'll wait to see on that one. Scott says, yes, get in. Oh, wait, who's Scott then? If you just let me know which driver you are you Widget? Obviously, you'll have to let me know. Presume you're not Widget then. I'm not sure though. But yeah, let me know. Scotty M1986, let me know which driver you are. And then I can understand your reaction, I suppose. Because at the moment, I'm just speculating who you could possibly be. I don't know if you're Widget. You're probably not Widget. That's Iceman. Oh, Iceman 86. Ah, okay. It's got you, mate. Cheers, Ziggy. Cheers for the confirmation. Appreciate it. Hope you don't pick me based on that. No, I'm joking. Scotty in the Marussia. Oh, wow, yeah. Back in those days, eh? Early 2010s. Prime and peak Marussia. When they were battling with the Caterhams as well. Wow. How slow were they back then as well? They were like several seconds off the pace of the like, Red Bull, Mercedes, McLaren even back then. But yeah, next pick then is in for Williams. And a pick for Williams is going to be Tier 2. And the first pick is going to be Warrener. So Warrener joins Pesci and Hazer. And the value for Warrener is standing at 64 million and leaves Williams with 99 million. They've got to be careful in these final few picks. There are some cheaper drivers on the list, by the way. So a host of drivers are under 40 million, for example, across all tiers. So they can still get a couple of bargain signings. But Pesci, 99 million spending at the moment leaves him with not very much money to spend, and he certainly can't be affording to just go with only 4 drivers, really. He needs to get at least another 2, you'd imagine, to feel decent. But anyways, the next pick will be for the McLaren, and we'll head back to Kesenator. Yet to get a Tier 1 driver on the cards. I mean, if he picks me, that'd be pretty crazy, because I didn't exactly perform particularly well last season. So, still a lot of good Tier 1 drivers, though, are available. So yeah, plenty of opportunity for him. We'll just wait on Kesenator to make his next selection. Right, third season now for you. Iceman in that car. Yeah, wow. Wow, wow, wow. Team Aston. Yeah, I mean, Coffee Beast Iceman 86. And we'll see what their fourth driver will be as well in probably, by the way it's going, and probably about 10 minutes, I'd imagine. But yeah, who will Kesenator pick for McLaren? That'll be the next question. We are on pick number 18 in the draft. It is 18, isn't it? Yeah, it is 18. Right. Oh, wait, no, it's not. Oh, yeah, so it's Ziggy, rather. My apologies, I made a mistake. Ziggy Singleton got the next pick. I did just check that, actually. And it is going to be Jack Amu heading to kick Sauber. Jack Amu, his prize is 55 million. I'm glad I did double check that as well, just before I heard it announced in my ear. Right, Jack Amu heads to kick Sauber. That means Kesenator is the next pick. So yes, Ziggy got pick 17. Pick 18 is going to McLaren with Kesenator. Again, still got a tier 1 driver available to him, but yeah, it's Deck, Jack, and Ziggy. Seems like Haas are all trying, or well, yeah, the Haas boys are trying to get back together again, but this time at a different team, which is very interesting to see. Right, let's see, anything different I need to get on here? Doesn't look like it. In terms of the money left now for Ziggy, 160 million, so still loads of money to play with, really, compared to some other teams as well. Obviously, the average for each driver is at just over 50 million. So that's why you've also got to try and be a bit careful and get a couple of bargain signings alongside a couple of expensive signings as well. So just got to be careful and manage your finances well. Who can manage their finances? That's the question. But yes, all the drivers will be drafted, by the way. So even if a team has to go into negative amounts of money, then that will still happen. Teams can regain money through the season through clean racing, effectively. The teams with the fewest penalty points do regain money through the season. But yeah, we'll see who the next pick will be then for Kesenator. And then it will head back to the Red Bull team. We're trying to get Haas back, but with kicks, sadly. Yeah, literally. Yourself, Deck, and Ziggy. Who is your other? Obviously, I know you had Woody. Tier 1. Oh, yeah, you can't get links, obviously. And then Tier 3. Who did you get in Tier 3? I can't actually remember now. Obviously, you had yourself. Oh, were you. Unless you weren't replaced, maybe? I can't actually remember now. It was like ages ago. It was only last season. But yeah, so you've pretty much got yourselves all together now. of the drivers who can be together, obviously Woody was already selected. Lynx couldn't be selected, and I think that's it, unless I'm missing one other driver from Tier 3. But we still await on that pick from Kesonator. Yeah, in the meantime, again, we are live across both platforms, Twitch and TikTok. Twitch is UFRL Formula 1, and on TikTok, UFRL underscore F1. It was Tier 3, me and Ziggy, then I got up and joined McLaren. Yeah. So you're pretty much now, all of you are together again, except for Woody, pretty much now. Yeah, but who will Kesonator sign? That will be the next question. For again, you presume it might be a Tier 1 driver, simply because he hasn't got a Tier 1 driver yet. His first selection was DD Friend. I mean, he'll probably try and go for a title contender. He's got to go for a title contender now, hasn't he? Surely. I love scrolling up in the Discord and you just see like all the names in the TP chat. Right, the pick is in for Kesonator. And the selection then for Kesonator, he is selecting one of the new drivers for this season. One of the new drivers will be Rendog. So how can Rendog fare in his debut season in UFRL? And he is worth 62 million. So that'll be his signing. Kesonator signs Rendog. Now we head to a double pick, and this will go back to Mrs. Poem and Red Bull. Of course, they picked ARC Mickey, and now they've got a double pick for Mrs. Poem. So wait and find out who she decides to select. Yeah, let's see then. In terms of the amount of money left, so Keselnik is 187 to play with. So as you can see, he's up there just behind the likes of Alpine and Aston Martin with the most money left to spend. But Red Bull still have the most, but of course they're going to sign, you'd imagine, a pretty strong driver next. But who would it be for Mrs. Poem? A double pick as well, don't forget. But yes, in terms of next season though, for season 9, we will be kickstarting on Monday night. That'll be 8 o'clock PM for Tier 1. And then Tuesday night, Tier 2, 8 o'clock PM. I'll be back on commentary duty on that race on the Tuesday. Next Wednesday, 8 o'clock PM will be Tier 3. Next Friday, 100% tier race. I'll be back on I will be on commentary duty rather on that race as well. And then the Saturday, 9 o'clock PM, so 1 hour later, will be the international tier race. So those are your 5 races we have through the week. Tiers 1, 2, and 3 are all pace based. Then you've got 100% tier on equal cars, and the international tier also on equal cars. But those two are probably a little bit more sort of relaxed. But also this season you've got a few punchy drivers. When I say punchy, I mean very strong, very competitive tier 1 drivers racing as well. So you know, some drivers such as Pesci will be racing in there. You've got Hazer back in both of those championships, should I say. Mr. Poem, you've got Merck, you've got Bolt, Bird. So yeah, so many quick drivers in there. So it will be a tough ask for anyone to come out and win, especially to come out and win both. Good luck on that one. Good evening, Tajani. Hope you're doing well. But yes, indeed, with the good Obi-Wan Kenobi announcement there. Well, hello there. As you can see, the current list of drivers are on the bottom of your screen in terms of who has been selected. Their valuations are also further up on the right side. So, for example, Mr. Poem, Tier 1A Mercedes, Tier 1A Mercedes, 56 million. And that was the value of Mr. Poem. But there you go. All your valuations are listed there as well. We are currently on the pick with Mrs. Poem, who has a double pick for Red Bull. Just waiting on Mrs. Poem to make her decisions as well. Pesci says come back to racing. Evening says more than a yeah. To be fair to Johnny, I mean, I can't remember actually. It was a few seasons back now. I mean, obviously we don't really speak. I mean, if you pop up on the stream, it's always nice. But yeah, obviously if you did want to come back and race, you have a chance. I mean, all the tier 1 seats I think are pretty much done now. I mean, Bad Boy Not Racing, that opens up one technically. I still... Okay, so the first pick for Mrs. Poem is in, and the first pick will be Parkour. So that would be Parkour alongside ARC Mickey. How on earth are those two going to be managed together? And that'll be 84 minutes. A lot of money being spent, I cannot lie. Second pick then for Red Bull. And the next pick in Tier 3 will be Cowley. So we've seen him on the stream tonight. And Cowley, there is your team. You're being managed by ARC Mickey. Not ARC Mickey, but Mrs. Poem with ARC Mickey and Parkour in your team as well. So Cowley, there you go. Heads to Red Bull. We'll get your value. Your value, 54 million. Red Bull have 98 million to spend on up to 3 drivers. I don't think they're going to get a full team out of this. Or if they are, they're going to probably go into negative money. But yeah, two very expensive tier 2 drivers there in the form of Mickey and Parkour. And Cowley was about average pricing in terms of 54 million. That is about bang on average, near enough, in terms of the price. So the average per driver is about between 53 to 54 million. So that's why Cowley is pretty much bang on average in terms of the pricing. Not bang on average in terms of the driver. Sorry, Cowley, if you think I was saying that, I was not saying that. But yes, I'm into GT3 cars these days. So okay, no worries. Right, so the next pick then, obviously, we've had that double pick by Mrs. Poem, so it will head back up the way, and pick 2 will go to Kesonator again. So Rendog, DD Friend, and Kesonator are currently that trio, but who will be the 4th pick selected by Kesonator? And the pick is in. And now Kesonator is going punchy because he's going for a potential title contender in Tier 3. He has selected Hybrid. So Hybrid is in now, and he is worth 88 million. Again, we have to move across here. 88 million being spent. That leaves Kesonator with 99 million to spend on the final few drivers, but that is the next one in. Say the 4th pick, so that leaves Kesonator with 2 drivers available to sign, and he has 99 million to spend. To be fair, he has selected quite wisely. Hybrid could be a strong signing there in Tier 3. Next pick then, pick 3 will go to Ziggy Singleton, and we'll just wait on who he snaps up for the season. Just hop in the stream sometimes. Had a fun time in UFRL. Yeah, I mean, listen, if you did want to come back into F1 racing, I don't necessarily blame you for not, because the game is not amazing on occasions and stuff. Obviously, it can be buggy, but the racing itself tends to be pretty strong, I've got to say. But yeah, if you do want to come back to racing, feel free, mate, honestly. But in terms of the draft itself tonight, next pick heads to Kick Sauber, and we just await for somebody to get into my ear, and then I will know who Kick Sauber are signing. But here we are on pick number 22. So we are about halfway through this draft now. But who will Ziggy select? Will he go tier 1, 2, or 3? Will be the question. So Ziggy Singleton, and he gets his pick in, and he is heading with Black Panther. And Black Panther making his return to UFRL this season. And Black Panther is going to be worth 62 million. So a very expensive pick there. And that leaves Kick Sauber with 98 million. A lot of teams being left with about the 100 million mark with a couple of drivers to go. The next pick then will be pick number 23. And we'll head back to Pesci with Williams. So we'll see who he decides to pick for that one. So who will Pesci select? I mean, in terms of trying to think what tier he might go with. At the moment, he's just going with the quicker driver. So therefore, would he go with tier 2 just to fit it up with Warner? Or would he finally drop down to tier 3 and be like, okay, I need a tier 3 driver? He should probably go that route, to be fair. That would probably be the sort of smarter way to go about it. He's got some good picks, though. Pesci, Hazer, and Warner. That's a strong team at Williams. But yeah, if he can pick a strong tier 3 driver, he has got a genuine chance to do something good this season. But we'll find out, of course. But the pick's still not. And I thought for a moment, but actually that was something just being posted. Just seeing in one of the chats in Discord, Doug saying, pick me to one of the team principals. I'm not going to say which one, though. Obviously, Doug still amongst those drivers remaining on the draft. I'm still there as well. I'm still there. We've still got plenty of drivers on there. I got Young Lights features on there as well. Who else? You got Basil, myself, Ghost, D-Lane, Iceman, Ice Cold, and Bam, all there from Tier 1 still. Tier 2, you got Rotti, who's one of the new drivers. Boy Knockout. Boy Knockout's still on there. Wow. I'm very surprised Boy Knockout has not been signed yet. You've got the two Stevens brothers. You've got Epic Frenchie, Mr. Potwash. I think everyone else. EM still on there? EM69, yep, he's still on there as well. And then Tier 3, a few other drivers. But let's get the pick is in then. And the next pick is in then for Pesci. And he has selected Bakey Gaming. So that is his selection then. And Bakey Gaming's value is 55 million for his first Tier 3 driver. That leaves Pesci with 44 million to spend. So he's either got to go Tier 2 or Tier 3. He won't be able to go both. Or if he does go both, he'll be in a negative in terms of money. Unless he's incredibly lucky. Which technically, mathematically, actually, he can still be in the positive come the end of this draft because 4 drivers, Iceman Ice Cold, Bam, Angry Badger, oh no, 3 drivers, Badger can't be picked. So Wilco, Bam and Iceman Ice Cold are the 3 drivers that Pesci can technically sign if he wants to stay above 0 million. But then he can go negative, but then he will need to try and recoup that money with some solid performances next season through the penalty point system, really, is where we're looking. Let's see, is anything else? Not yet. So, yeah. Again, if anybody just want to make comments, feel free. We have been live for almost 2 hours. We've got 46 people viewing. Amazing. Fair play. Still got so many of the drivers here as well. Watching, wondering who they're going to be driving for. But yeah, Boy Knockout is probably one of those who I am genuinely surprised to still win. And I know I'm saying that because he's probably going to be amongst the next drivers to be picked. And the pick is in. So here we go for Angry Badger. He is selected EM69. That means he will not be racing with Hazer, but EM selected with Angry Badger. And the value for EM, 32 million. So a very reasonable price there. 32 million. Ferrari left with 112 million to spend. Next pick, Glenn, will be pick number 25. It will be Coffee, who has already got himself, Beast, and Iceman 86. So would he go Tier 1 or would he go with his first Tier 3 driver? And the Tier 3 driver will be myself, UFRL F1 Viva, will be alongside Coffee. So me, Coffee, Beast, and Iceman 86 will be racing for Aston Martin, and my value is 29 million. So let's pop that one in there. So me alongside Coffee. Right, the next pick then, it will be pick number 26 at Haas. So Viking Fox. Still yet to sign a Tier 1 driver as well. So will Viking finally get his move for a Tier 1 driver for next season? That will remain to be seen, of course. Don't forget, we are going to be going quicker. We have actually picked up the pace over the last few picks simply because the drivers are getting less and less now in terms of who we have available. So we've got about 5 or 6 maybe left in Tier 1. Tier 2, we've only got a few drivers left in Tier 2. A lot have been picked, but I still state Boy Knockout is still available. And then Tier 3... Okay, so Tier 3, yeah, there's still a fair few available actually in Tier 3. But the next pick is in then. So the pick for Tier 3, or Tier 1 rather, is going to be It's JC. And he'll be making his move to work with Viking Fox. 60 million is the value for It's JC. 85 million left for Haas. Next pick, Glenn, it will be pick number 27. And it will be Destroyer Jack's 3rd pick again. He did have a penalty going into this draft, meaning he did not get his first pick. But he now has himself and Gandalf and can finally pick his 3rd driver. Who would it be, is the question. Again, he's still got Boy Knockout. Oh, no, he can't pick Boy Knockout. Never mind that. That's gutting for him. Imagine if he could still pick Boy Knockout. Let's say if Jack were tier 1 or Gandalf were tier 1 and they had a chance to pick Boy Knockout. I think they'll rack up some really great points through that. But obviously now they've got to go tier 1, it seems. Or tier 3? Which way do they go? They might even go tier 3. But we'll find out. What does Destroyer Jack do in terms of his pick? Still got plenty of people viewing, which is great to see. But yeah, Destroyer Jack, who do you guys think would he pick? It's either tier 1 or 3. But you'll go tier 3, I think. So he'll be looking at it thinking himself and Gandalf can reserve up to tier 1. And with that in mind, he'll be straight away going at tier 3, I think. But anyway, let's see. And the pick is in then. And I was correct. He is going tier 3. And Destroyer Jack is selecting Ivy. So Ivy is in. And he is worth a pricey 67 million for Ivy. And there you go. It leaves Jack with 129 million left to spend. And the next pick number 28, is back to Shazam with Visa RB. Currently got the Bird and Rusted Bolt in tier 1. Himself in tier 3. Probably going to go tier 2. He could go with Boy Knockout. It would be a very expensive signing, however. Oh, and I was right. It's going to be Boy Knockout. He was always going to be amongst the next signings, and Boy Knockout finally gets picked. I mean, I'm surprised it's taken this long, but Boy Knockout has been signed 70 million for Shazam. It leaves him with just 36 million left, but he still has his tier 2 and tier 3 slot available. So what will Shazam do? 36 million to go. He might end up in a bit of debt and hoping to get penalty points out of trouble effectively by remaining clean through the season. That's what he pretty much needs to do now. But yeah, the next pick then will return back to Willie Fernandez for a double pick with Mercedes. 174 million left, so plenty of money still for William to spend. But yes, in terms of what they've got left now, only a few tier 1 drivers. So you've got Young Lights, Basil, Ghost, Steelane, Iceman, Ice Cold, and Bam. In tier 2, you've got Rotty, one of the new drivers. You've got Salty Stevens, Silky Stevens, Epic Frenchie, I think is still available. If I don't see his name on there. Nope, so he's still available, Epic Frenchie. I've got Mr. Potwash as well. He is still available. Both those could be very good signings. I think that's it for tier 2. There you go. Most drivers have actually been signed there. And then tier 3, you have still got James Eon, you've got James Keller, you've got Wilco still available, Optimus Prime, one of the new drivers, Mr. Piggy, I'm surprised he's not been selected yet, Doug still available, Pops Kong is available as well. So yeah, they are the drivers in tier 3 still available. Next pick is in then. Oops. And Mercedes have selected, and they have gone the way of tier 2. A bit of a risk, this one, because they are going with Rotty, one of the new drivers. Not often a strategy used by Willie Fernandez, but he is going with it on this one. I've actually put it in a completely wrong place there. Rotty should be down here, right? His value then for Rotty, 77 million. I mean, they could go with an expensive one. They obviously have 97 million left to spend on just 2 drivers from tier 3 now, so that's all he needs to do, and he has plenty of money available to him. So who will Williams sign as the next driver? So we'll just wait on that one. Currently the one I'm in with the chat with is muted, so I don't know if he's trying to talk. Let's hope he's not. Not whilst I'm muted, but yeah. Who will Woody Fernandez select then? With Rotty, of course. I think Rotty will be interesting. I mean, new drivers are always going to be a naturally risky signing anyway. But Rotty with Woody Fernandez is a strong team, of course. Mr. P. Merck, Woody Fernandez, and Rotty. Oh, and now Mercedes are going to select one of the tier 3s, of course, and it is UFRL Doug. Their constructors' dreams are in tatters. A 3rd title down the drain. Maybe. Anyways, Doug has been signed, however, and Doug is going to be priced at 41 million. So again, it leaves them with 56 million to spend, plenty of money for their final tier 3 driver. Right then, next one will be Visa RB will get pick number 31. 36 million left. So did they get a tier 2 or did they get a tier 3 to link up with either Boynock or Shazam? It could be a tier 3 to heal up the tier 2 potentially. That would be interesting. Because Shazam would obviously know if he can reserve up or not. So that'll be the fundamental factor of this next pick. Thank you for the follow to It's Ruben. Very much appreciated on that one. This is currently the draft for the season that starts on Monday night, 8 o'clock PM for the Tier 1 opener. So this is a full draft. And as you can see, every driver has their own individual value as well. But yeah, Doug has now been selected by Woody Fernandez. I'm pretty sure Doug will be pretty happy with that selection. But the question will be, who will be joining up then? And here we go, the pick is in. The next pick is in, and it will be pick number 31, Mr. Potwash. And that will be the selection. Does he have enough money for Mr. Potwash? Let's have a look. So he's got 45 million. So obviously he decides he wants to go into debt. Really, you shouldn't be going that way because there are drivers who are cheaper than that. So really, he should be going with a driver. Or are there? Oh no, he can't actually. Iceman, DD Friend, EM, and Woody. Okay. I'll allow it just on the basis that he could probably recoup. You need to recoup that money though, because you don't want to be in a similar situation to what Destroyer Jack was in. Jack would tell you all about that. He obviously got a later draft pick, with pick 12 being his first pick. So, yeah, Shazam. It's a risky game you're playing, but you do not want to be in a similar situation to what Destroyer Jack was in. Either way, that's his pick, though. The next pick then will go back to Alpine. 129 million to still to spend. And for Alpine, who can they sign? I mean, there's still only a handful of drivers left. And he's got both tier 1 seats available and a tier 3. Is he going to try and fill up that tier 3 slot? Is the question. Or will he actually get a tier 1 driver feeling like they need somebody to deliver results for them? That will be an interesting factor. Would it be Destroyer Drag? Let's see who will Distract pick. Destroyer Drag does head the way of tier 3 as we pretty much anticipated actually. And Destroyer Drag will go with Mr. Piggy. Returning to UFRL, and he joined up with Ivy as his tier 3 teammate. Mr. Piggy valued at 41 million. So that'll be that for Alpine. Let's make sure we go across. 41 million, and it leaves Destroyer Jack with a total of 88 million to spend on their 2 final drivers in tier 1. If they're going to sign 2 drivers, that is. Next pick then will go back to Haas, and it will be for Viking Fox. As you can see, he's currently got 4 drivers. It's JC, Viking, Woody, and 50 Gent to their name. So who could they potentially get then for the next pick? Do you go tier 1? I mean, there's not that. Well, there's a few tier 1s still to pick. Again, Young Light still on there. Basil, Ghost, D-Lane, Iceman, Ice Cold, Bam. I think if Ghost can race often, I think he will be a good signing. I can't lie. I'm not going to say you have to pick Ghost. Obviously, there are still good drivers on there. That's just for me working with Ghost as well. If Young Lights can race often enough, he could be a great signing as well. He could genuinely. He's got the pace to fight for the title, Young Lights. So if he can race week in, week out, he will be a tremendous signing. But ignore that, because Haas have decided they are going to go tier 3, and it will be Optimus Prime. So Optimus Prime there, making that move. Amazing stuff, really. There you go. I was wondering where I was going wrong. There you go. Optimus Prime then gets that move. And how much is Optimus Prime worth? He is worth 39 million. He'll be hoping to make those moves. And let's see, can Haas succeed with Viking Fox then? at the helm. But that leaves Haas with 46 million to spend on one driver, which is plenty because all he needs now is a tier 1 driver. Next up then will be Coffee. Coffee is gone with Pops Kong as the next driver, so it will be near enough filling up, but it's a lot of money left for Coffee. I mean, not sure if he's leaving that money for someone in particular. I mean, it's going to need a miracle, but Coffee has gone with Pops Kong, and he's now got 45 million spent there. That leaves him with a total of 118 million left to spend. Right, next pick then goes to Ferrari. So that'll be pick number 35. So he's currently got Badger, EM, Cinders and Widget. So he needs a tier 1 driver next. 112 million, plenty to spend. But who will Badger head with for his next selection? Yeah, very interesting right now. Never been so excited for a new season, says Aza. Working with Pesci, Warren and Baker Gaming. Interesting. And next pick has been formed. You do wonder, how often will this driver be racing? Either way, he's got a new team and he is going to be racing for Ferrari. It will be Young Lights. Again, he could be a genuine title contender if he races week in, week out. 59 million spent there. Leaves Ferrari with 53 million to spend on their final tier 1 driver, which again, it's plenty of money to spend. Next pick will go to Kick Sauber with Ziggy Singleton. So again, they need a tier 2 or a tier 3 driver. Who will they head with, however, is next question. Boy Knockout was these Visa RB, let's go. So I was saying during the draft, in fact, I was surprised with how late you were picked. I was expecting you to be picked in either the first round or the second round. I think it took to right at the end of the third round. I was very surprised. But yeah, you have got your team done there. Was it third round or fourth round? It might have even been a fourth. But yeah, it was pretty insane. Oh, but I also realised why you're excited, because you're working with EM. Understood. Can tier 1 drivers go into tier 2? No, they can't. Unless they get demoted, of course. If they get demoted, then yes, technically. But don't really often see demotions. Warner says, looking forward to it. Great to be with Haas. Wasn't expecting it, but I'm ready to show what I can do for them. And yeah, so you're going to be, yeah, pretty good team there. JC, Viking, Woody, 50, and Optimus Prime. Now you're welcome, Boy Knockout. Solid driver. Like, end of the day, we had our battle in season 3, so I know plenty about you. Great driver, very quick as well. Yeah. So let's see then the next pick. We still a wait on. I have to remember who the next pick is actually. Whilst we're getting at this, I think it's Ziggy. That's the one. So Ziggy Singleton is the next pick. Pick number 37 for Ziggy. So which drivers do we have left then? So we've still got Basil. You've got Ghost, Steel Lane, Iceman, Ice Cold, and Bam. Tier 2 getting very limited now. You've still got both Stevens brothers. You've got Silky and you've got Salty. So, yeah, plenty of drivers still available for them. Epic Frenchie, Mr. Potwash. Tier 2, you've still got some good drivers available. Right, here we go. And as I said then, you were going to go a tier 2 driver. It had to be. And Ziggy Singleton has headed with Salty Stevens as his next draft pick. So Salty Stevens, who is valued at 61 million. Leaves kicks out with 37 million to spend on their final driver in tier 3. Next pick then will be Kesenator, and it will be at McLaren. So he's got Rendog, DD Friend himself, and Hybrid at the moment. Can he go with a strong driver in tier 1 or tier 2 is the next question. Okay, I was incorrect on that, sorry. Salty Stevens will go to Pesci. In fact, Salty Stevens is at Williams. Let's get his value, not his value changed, but obviously the driver changed. So that would be 61 million away. get that to Williams. There you go. And that leaves Williams minus 17 million. So Pesci again, a similar game to what we were seeing from Destroyer Dracula. Very risky. Very risky. Yeah, let's see if that could work out for Visa, RB, and Williams. They're going to try and recoup that money through the season by being clean. That's what they need to do. But the next pick will be with Ziggy Singleton, in fact. So let's see who he picks. And it will be the brother of Salty. It will be Ziggy. So not Ziggy. It will be Silky Stevens. And that'll be your next pick then for the kick Sauber. If it wasn't going to be Salty, it had to be Silky, didn't it? And Silky Stevens, 59 million. Right. So the next pick then, it had to happen. Salty and then Silky, it was always going to happen, surely. But the next pick will go back to Kesenator, and it will be with McLaren. Pick number 38 is on for Kesenator now. Let's see. We're gonna be learning a bit off you and Pesci. I'm gonna be learning off Pesci, says Hazer. What does it mean if you go over the budget? Well, it depends. So you can recoup your money through the season. If your team are clean in terms of penalty points, let's say you're the cleanest team over a course of rounds 1 to 3, you will recoup 10 million. Obviously, that 10 million would be enough for Shazam right now. But then again, he does have to sign another driver. Potentially, unless he doesn't necessarily have to. So we'll wait and see on that one. But yeah, you can recoup money through the season, basically. Surprised everyone not gone over it then. No, because the average price was just over 50 million, so a couple of teams were likely going to go over budget, but then there will be a few teams like Aston Martin who have plenty left to spend as well. So the next pick is in, and Kesenator has gone tier 1, and it will be the return of UFRL Steelane. So Rendog and Steelane will be the partnership there, and that will be worth 26 million for Kesenator. And that will be 73 million left for McLaren. As you can see again, plenty of money for Kesenator to go out and sign his final tier 2 driver. Next pick then, it will go back up the way. Oh no, rather go back down, sorry. It will be to Mrs. Poem, gets a double pick for Red Bull. So let's see, what does Mrs. Poem do? I'm also going to add in this because Mrs. Poem technically now gets a pick number 51, is it? I'm going to include that anyway. Pick number 51. Pretty much she'll get like the last pick, obviously, because everyone else will be done, and then Mrs. Poem will get the final pick. But yeah, we'll see. Mrs. Poem gets a double pick now. Yet to get a tier 1 driver, interestingly. Maybe hoping that a quick tier 1 driver comes in, or even can we sign 2 current tier 1s? That's the question. Right, let's see. But yeah, in terms of what's available, so you've still got Basil, you've still got Ghost, you've still got Iceman, Ice Cold, and Bam. I reckon as a driver, I reckon I know who Mr. P might pick, actually. That's the first pick is in for, well, I say first pick, the double pick is in, but the first of which is the one who I was actually going to predict just before the arrival of the signing, and it will be UFRL Ghost. And he is going to be racing for the Red Bull Racing team. 27 million, quite a cheap driver in the end, but let's see what Ghost can do. And the pick for tier 3 will be Jameson. James Ian or Jameson, whatever you want to call him, basically. But he is in at tier 3, 31 million. So as you can see for Red Bull, that leaves them with 40 million. Plenty to get their final tier 1 driver. Next pick then, it will go to Kesenator again at McLaren, and that will be his final pick. So who will Kesenator complete his draft with? His team will be completed with this final selection for Kesenator. But who does he pick? Back to chat. Yep, again, no chat, but again, plenty of viewers still. So very much appreciated on that one. I haven't been on the TikTok tonight. Let's see. Yeah, we've got some stuff in the TikTok. But yeah, anyone in the TikTok who's watching, I did send a link earlier on. Right, next pick is in and for Kesonator. And the final pick for Kesonator has been confirmed, and it will be in tier 2, Epic Frenchie. So that'll be his selection, and Epic Frenchie, solid driver of last season, and he is going to be worth 50 million. And that means that Kesonator, 23 million left, and that is his draft fully completed then. So McLaren, Rendog, C-Lane, DD Friend, Epic Frenchie, Kesonator, and Hybrid. Next up will be Ziggy Singleton with Kick Sauber, 39 million spent on a tier 3 driver. Who will they go with? Is the question. But yeah, we'll just wait on that one. But yeah, in terms of who's available then for him to sign, we've got Wilco, James Killer. I think Optimus Prime still available? I think he actually may have got taken. Yeah, he did. So it's actually quite limited now. James Killer and Wilco, I think, are the only two left. So James Killer or Wilco, who does he opt to sign is going to be the question. He could actually technically decide not to. He can pass on this. Okay, Ziggy Singleton has selected James Killer as his final driver. He'll be hoping he can race regularly enough. But yes, James Killer being signed for 37 million. And that completes the draft for Ziggy. 2 million left. I mean, you can't really get much more perfect in terms of having a little bit of budget remaining. So there you go. Fair play to Ziggy. 2 million left over from his total amount. And he does have Deck, Black Panther, Jack Hamu, Silky Stevens, Ziggy, and James Killer for his full lineup. Next pick, Len, we will head to pick number 43 with Williams and Pesci. Again, in tier 3, I think they probably have to pass on this. I'm going to be honest. I think I might even have to mandate that. I think it will have to be that Pesci probably has to skip this one. I think it'll be the only fair way to go. Because yeah, he's got like minus 17 million, and if he signs a driver, he's going to be about 50 million in the red. I pretty much won't be able to recoup that through the season, so yeah, he should really, unless he goes with somebody really. Oh, he's got Wilco at 20 million, but yeah, for me personally, this should be Pesci should not be signing the next driver. I think that has to be given to the next TP, which looks like it would be Aston Martin. Yeah, I think based on how much Pesci has left, minus 17 million. Whew, it's going to be a tough ask for Pesci to recoup that, and he's going to be in a very similar situation to what Destroyer Jack was in going into this season. Let's see what does happen. And is it going to be Pesci, or would it actually go to Angry Badger? Badger might have to go with that tier 1 driver next. Let's see which tier 1s are available. Still, Basil, you've got Iceman, Ice Cold, and Bam, all still available for tier 1. So just figuring out a situation at the moment with Pesci potentially signing Wilco. But yeah, he would be minus 37 million with the signing of Wilco. So tough ask to get that back in the green. I think nearly impossible. He needs his drivers to be super clean for the season. Otherwise, he pretty much won't be doing that. But yeah, in terms of the amounts left, as you can see, a few teams do have plenty of budget left. But really, the amount you want is probably about McLaren. I think they have the right sort of amount. Red Bull need to sign one more driver. They should be. They're okay for that. So Red Bull will stay in the green. Sauber in the green. McLaren will be in the green. Ferrari will be in the green. Aston will obviously be in the green. They've got loads left. Haas will be in the green. Alpine will be in the green. Yeah, they'll all be in the green, bar like two teams. Yeah, two teams would not be in the green. That's pretty much it. That's interesting. So these are RB and Williams are the two who will have to try and recoup money through that season. Otherwise, well, they're going to struggle. But yeah. Sometimes, yeah, so we've still got plenty of people watching. Let's see, though. I think Pesci might just have to take Wilco here, though. But if he does, that's going to leave him minus 37 million. But Wilco can pretty much go into other teams. I think that's the big thing. But yeah, at the moment, so Wilco does go to Williams. It would be minus 37 million. But then the next pick would be Angry Badger. There's still that couple of tier 1 drivers he could pick. So he's got Iceman, Ice Cold, Bam, and Basil still available for Angry Badger. Then Haas can sign a tier 1, and Drac can sign a tier 1 as well. Oh, Drac's going to be potentially unlucky because Drac looks like he's going to be getting the last tier 1 driver, so he won't actually be able to say too much on this. That'd be interesting. In terms of what else is left over after that, I mean, you've got Coffee needing a tier 3, but Wilco's the last one, so Coffee won't be able to get a tier 3 driver. So it's all about the last tier 1s effectively, and it looks like Wilco will be heading to Williams, it seems, at this moment in time, from what I'm seeing. But yes, I'm pretty sure it looks like Wilco will be heading there. I mean, if he's going to be racing full time, then he'll obviously stay. But if he's not going to be racing, he'll end up leaving that seat anyway. So it's one of those. I mean, Pesci probably would rather not have the extra debt, if that makes sense. But if Wilco puts in some strong performances, then I don't think he'll complain too much if that were the case. But yeah. Okay, so the confirmation is in then. So Pesci will make the signing, and he will sign Wilco. So now, obviously, the reason why it was a tricky one is because Pesci is in debt at the moment. So that makes him more in debt, 20 million, and that leaves Pesci with minus 37 million. So he needs to try and recoup that through the season by staying clean with few penalty points. So if you're Pesci, Hazer, Warner, Salty, Bakey, and Wilco, clean as possible because Pesci needs to try and recoup that money through the season. Um, so if you are the cleanest drivers, Pesci will be very, very happy with you guys, I'm sure. Anyways, that means we are on to the tier ones. We've got 3 drivers left, I think. Basil, Iceman, Ice Cold, and Bam. Right, so Ferrari have made a signing, and it will be Basil. So Basil will be signing, and he's valued at 32 million. So it will be Basil partnering with Young Lights. Angry Badger, EM, Cinders, and Widget complete the rest of the Ferrari grid. Right, obviously Aston Martin, we have to skip then because they cannot sign Wilco. So they do have a tier 3 driver at 3. What about Haas then? So they do have 2 choices. They have Bam or they have Iceman, Ice Cold. That is for Viking Fox to decide. So who will he head with? Will it be Will Viking go with Bam or will he go with Iceman? That's the question now. Oh, someone seems happy in the chat. Yeah, he says Ice Cold Martial. Well, yeah. So, so the first one is in. So Haas will announce the signing, and it will be, well, actually uncapitalized. It will be Iceman Ice Cold heading to Haas. He must love that Haas car. So Iceman Ice Cold will be valued at 22 million. And then the final one with Bam heading back to work with Destroyer Jack, and that'll be for the tier 1 seat at Bam, 18 million. So that'll be the one for Destroyer Drac there. Unless Drac decided to pass on it, technically he could. If he passed on Bam and Mrs. Poem decided to, yes, I'll take Bam, that could technically happen. So actually, we'll see what happens there. Wait, with Alpine, yeah? Yeah, cool. So Alpine have got Bam for 18 million. So that is the confirmation. And so that means that is your full driver list. Then again, if you want to save anything, feel free. This is your time to do it. The full rundown: Mercedes, Mr. Poem, Merck, Willie Fernandez, Rotti, and Doug. These are B, Bird, Rusted Bolt, Boy Knockout, Mr. Potwash, and Shazam. Alpine, Bam, Destroyer Jack, Gandalf, Ivy, and Mr. Piggy. Haas, It's JC, Iceman Ice Cold, Viking Fox, Woody, 50 Gent, and Optimus Prime. Aston Martin, Coffee, Viva, Beast, Iceman 86, and Pops Kong. Ferrari, Young Lights, Basil, Angry Badger, EM69, Cinders, and PRV Widget. Williams, Pesci, Hazer, Warner, Salty Stevens, Baker Gaming, and Wilco. McLaren, Rendog, Steel Lane, DD Friend, Epic Frenchie, Kesonator, and Hybrid. Kicks Albert, Deck, Black Panther, Jack Hamu, Silky Stephen, Ziggy Singleton, and James Killer. And last of all, and not least, Red Bull, UFRL Ghost, ARC Mickey, Parkour, Cowley, and James Eon. Those are your full rundowns for the draft then. As Bam says, lovely, getting the confirmation of working with Destroyer Drac again. Bam, Drac, Gandalf, Ivy, and Mr. Piggy. I think you only worked with Drac last season, as far as I know. Obviously, Mr. Piggy's new. Ivy was at McLaren, Gandalf was at Mercedes. So yeah, obviously yourself and Drac stick with Alpine again. But yes, that is pretty much the end of this draft then. Again, I will give you the full rundown once again, just to make it fair. So if we get you back on to the PowerPoint slide, so that's obviously the TPs. Let's give you an indication of what it's looking like then. 100% tier, this is your full rundown then. The Red Bull will be Coffee and Bakey Gaming. Mercedes Hazer alongside EM69. Aston Martin Pesci with Optimus Prime. McLaren Merc with Woody. Ferrari Anthony and Rennie 88. Alpine Ruster Bolt with Willie Fernandez, Williams the Bird and Ivy, Visa RB Mr. Poem alongside Viking Fox, Kicksauber, Deck and Kezenator, and Haas Destroyer Drac with Bam. In the international tier, Red Bull Iceman Ice Cold with Kezenator, the Mercedes Rendog with PRV Widget, Aston Martin Bam and Woody, McLaren Deck with Doug, Ferrari will be Merc, Alpine Hazer and EM69, Williams will be Black Panther with Wilco, Visa RB, Mr. Poem with Simon, and the Haas will be myself with Optimus Prime. Right then, and of course we'll give you anything else. Do you want to have a look at the calendars again just before we do head off? Those are your full calendars. So again, a final chance to really save them if you do so. So there you go, that's your chance to save those calendars for tiers 1, 2 and 3. And we'll also do the same for the 100% tier, which is equal cars for this season and not realistic, and for the international tier as well. Again, the season will start on Monday, so Monday 24th of February for tier 1, 8 o'clock PM, and we'll be live for that race. The finale will be May the 17th, and that'll be for the international tier, 9 o'clock PM. But again, that's in a few months' time. But for tonight, that has been the full compilation of the draft. You're very welcome, Gandalf and Cowley and Bam. All very much welcome for that one. I hope you've all enjoyed the draft. Obviously, if things have gone wrong at times, apologies, but I think in the end it's gone fairly smoothly. But yes, I think the draft has been pretty successful again for the season. We'll see how things work for all the team principals. Who will be the best team? Who will be the ones who unfortunately struggle? That remains to be seen. But for the draft, that has been that. We'll give you one final round off for what has been sorted out. As you can see, that's the final sort out for the teams this season. If you want a final look. But there you go. Mercedes, Visa RB, Alpine, Haas, Aston Martin, Ferrari, Williams, McLaren, Kicksauber, and Red Bull. Those are your teams for Season 9 in UFRL. And again, you're welcome. Thank you, Boy Knockout, Woody, Cowley, and Hazer. Probably repeated some names in there, like I said earlier on. But again, thank you to everybody though who has been watching this stream across both Twitch and TikTok. Obviously, if you do want to get involved, I don't know if somebody's able to pop a link into the Twitch. I could do that for the TikTok, however, that's not going to be an issue. Let me pop that in. Does it paste it? It doesn't paste it. Of course it won't paste it, right? So I put one in earlier. If you're able to pop one in both, that might actually be better. Can I copy that? It says copy to send. Okay, no, it can't. If somebody can also for the TikTok, that would be perfect. But thank you to Mr. P. Yes, again, thank you everyone for watching. Indeed, I hope everyone is looking forward to Season 9. And of course, this will be the final season on F1 24. Well, you presume before F1 25 heads out, and we'll do it all over again. Got to say, draft night does take a long time, but you know what? It is good fun. Anyone for some laps? Yeah, good point. I might have to start getting practice in for the Tier 1 race. Yeah, that's a very good point. Maybe I'll do that straight after the draft. But yeah, for tonight though, that is pretty much going to be that. Thank you to everybody for watching. And once again, also thank you to the Poems for continuing to be absolutely brilliant in the ownership of the league. Again, creating a fantastic place for all of you drivers to be involved in. It's JC, thank you also for the poster earlier on. Very much appreciated. All the admins, all the stewards, all the drivers. I hope we're all looking forward to Season 9. And let's kickstart with a bang on Monday night. Thank you to everybody for watching, and I wish you all the best for Season 9, and have a great night. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.